guys, welcome to another episode of A Drummer's Guide to. This week I'm talking about the top 4 investments that I've made in my playing, and I am not necessarily talking about monetary investments here, but I am talking about time and what I feel gave me the biggest return basically on my career. And speaking of things like that, I've actually created an online workshop that I'd love for you to go and check out. It is a workshop that will help you in so many different areas of your playing. It's something that I created through just years of trying different things, and this will improve so many aspects of your playing. It will improve your feel, your timing. It will make sure that you become friends with the click, because I know that I was enemies with the click for so long. You'll become more comfortable with leaving space in your playing. It will strengthen your inner time, and you will never have to worry again about what to practice and is this valuable for the little time that I have. I believe that if you do this workshop, if you do what I teach in it for 5 minutes a day, it will skyrocket you to becoming a professional and to hitting the goals that you want to do. So if you want to check out the workshop, just go to adrummersguide2.com/workshop. Funny that, isn't it? Anyway, enjoy the episode and I will see you on the other side. These are the things that I've done for years that I feel have gotten me to the place that I want to be as a player, continue to get me to where I want to be, and have given me the greatest returns basically. And I hope that this helps you as well, if you want to be just better at any instrument. Actually, these work for any instrument. So I'll get into it straight away rather than rambling, because I'm sure there'll be plenty of that as we go on. But the first thing, the number one thing, especially as a drummer, although if you do invest in this as another musician, I will love you forever. And that first thing is a metronome. So simple. As a drummer, we literally have one job: to keep time. Number one job, biggest thing, keep time. So I've been playing to a metronome basically since I started playing drums. It's so simple. When I was a kid, it was a little sort of like bit of plastic basically. I had a little Korg metronome. I had a Tama Rhythm Watch for a while, which was a bit bigger and a bit more complex. These days I've got an app on my phone that I basically use, and as I say, I do actually use it almost daily still, and yeah, I mean, as I say, it's a basic skill that every drummer should have. They should have good time, and to do that well would be playing to a metronome. So, very easy, first one, simple. The second investment that I would make is basically either like an Apple Music account subscription thing, or a Spotify. You could do the subscription, you could do the free version. Basically, just have access to tons of music. Again, when I started out, these things didn't exist, so it was more about, you had to buy music, and you couldn't have all the music in the world, whereas these days you literally can, which is amazing. So you can always be listening to new stuff, you can be playing along to stuff, because that's the main thing that I used to do, that I would recommend everyone do as any sort of musician. Play along to music, play along to the kind of music that you enjoy, that you want to be playing, and really hone that skill, because it's one thing playing in your bedroom by yourself, even playing to a metronome, that's all good and well, but if you can't practically put that to good use in the real world when you're playing with other musicians, it's completely useless. If you're playing to music, if you're playing to, say you're playing to, I don't know, let's say you're playing to John Mayer, right? John Mayer album, let's say the Continuum album, because that's one that's just coming to mind. Because I used to do that. So if you're playing along to that, you're playing along with Steve Jordan, so you're locking in with him as a drummer. Also, you've got Pino Palladino on bass. So if you're locking in with Steve, who is locking in with Pino, then by default, you're also locking in with Pino. Amazing! So if you can kind of like get on that level and just get used to how that feels and what that entails, and then go to someone, a completely different artist, I don't know, go to Sly and the Family Stone, and you want to be locking in with Andy Newmark, and then all the musicians that are on that album, or those albums, or whatever. And then, just keep doing that until you sort of really do lock in, you start to feel comfortable in the songs that you want to be playing to, the kind of music you want to be playing. And as I say, the amount of music out there is just incredible, it's endless. So yeah, I think it's an amazing investment. And as I say, you can literally have a free Spotify account and still get access to loads of stuff, so you don't even need to pay for it. The third thing that I think is the best investment, it probably should be number one, but it wouldn't make, well, it would make sense, but I like doing it in this kind of order. The third thing is to invest in a little handheld recorder. I've said this so many times. If you've watched any of my other videos, I'm sure I've mentioned it because I mention it all the time. A handheld recorder is literally the best thing any musician could invest in, like bar none. So anytime you're playing to your newly invested in metronome, anytime you're playing to a song from Spotify or Apple Music or whatever, record yourself playing to it. Record yourself and listen back. Don't just record yourself and leave it. Listen back and then play to it again. Record yourself, listen back. That is the quickest way that you can become the kind of player that you want to be, and it's just, I can't stress enough. And again, it can be like a super cheap recorder. I'm not even sure. I'm sure that phones would have software that will, because the problem is obviously drums are loud, so so usually it would it would overload the microphone. But so I'll show you exactly. I've got this out. This is from my drawer. I didn't even know where it was before. So I used to use this literally daily. I still do use it occasionally. It's just a little Zoom recorder. Equally, they do these smaller ones that go straight into phones, which are great. And I even bought this one at one point, an iRig thing, which again, super duper affordable. It just means that it doesn't overload, so you can really hear what you're playing, and how, again, you can check that you're locking in with those players on those albums. You can check that you're locking in with the metronome. By the way, side note, how you know if you're locking in with a metronome is that you can't hear it anymore. So just a quick aside there. Yeah, so I'd say, like, something to record yourself on. I know that I have this studio here, but honestly, you don't need that. Like, I never had that. I had my little recorder. In fact, I had a tape dictaphone that I've desperately been trying to find, but I think it's gone. It's gone into the ether. It hasn't gone into the ether. It's probably gone into a landfill somewhere. But you never know. One day it might turn up. I'm not sure where it could be now. Anyway, the fourth and final thing that I think is the best investment for your career, for your playing, and you're going to hate it. I hate it. I say I hate it. I've come to terms with it. I used to absolutely hate this fourth thing. And it's super cheesy. You ready for this? The fourth thing is time. Lame, I know. Okay, what do I mean? I mean what I'm saying, basically. You just have to put in the time. You have to put in the work. You're not going to, pick up the sticks, be playing for 3 months and then be on a world tour. It's not how it works. And trust me when I say I've tried all the shortcuts or whatever. I've tried to research ways to do things to make myself better, quicker. I used to listen to music whilst I was sleeping because I thought that would, get into my brain better. Turns out it just gives you a worse night's sleep and you end up really grouchy the next day and you can do less with it. Yeah, I've tried a lot of stuff to try and make things go quicker for me because I'm very impatient. Like, I can't even tell you. Like I said, I've gotten better now, but yeah, time. It just takes time. It took me 9 years from starting to play, like literally picking up the sticks, to making a full-time living. It took 9 years. There is no quick answer. You've just got to put in the work, put in the time, put in those 8-hour practice days or more. You need to be playing with as many bands as you can, and just giving yourself the most exposure, the most opportunity, and that way, when the right time comes and a new opportunity presents itself, you're ready. Because, to do a tour, for instance, you can't just put in like a month's work beforehand from nothing. You need to have had all those years' experience beforehand, lots of stuff going wrong and all that sort of stuff, and fixing it and learning things and just dealing with people and being on stage and being comfortable and all these things. It just takes time, it takes repetition, and yes, that's the final, probably quite annoying last thing that I would invest in. So anyway, those are my 4 pence worth. Let me know what you think. Do you think the same? Maybe not. Maybe you think I'm mad. That's fine. Hope you enjoyed that episode there, and I hope that it's given you some food for thought. And on that note also, I would like to just say, if you have been enjoying my podcast, A Drummer's Guide to, would you mind doing me the hugest favour? Because it's such a strange platform, podcasting at the moment. It's I know that it's been around for a while, but it's in a bit of a growth stage at the minute. And it's very hard to tell if people are enjoying it, basically, because I am literally talking to a microphone right now. But if you are enjoying this, would you mind doing me the hugest favour ever and just going onto iTunes and leaving a review? It's basically the only way that people can find my podcast, aside from me just shouting about it, which I know that I do a lot. But if people see that reviews have been written and people are enjoying it, they're more likely to listen. And I'd love to get the word out there more about this podcast, the subjects that I talk about, and just to create a sort of support network for people that are trying to be professional musicians. So if you wouldn't mind doing that, you'd have my eternal gratitude, and I will be eternally grateful. But yeah, anyway, I shall love you. I shall leave you. I hope you're having a lovely day, and I'll see you next week for another subject. All right, laters taters. Bye.